Good morning, one and all present here. Thank you for joining with us today. So we, the VisCO team, would like to showcase some of the potential projects that we can work on in the visualization deck. And this is Romita, starting with a dashboard on FMCG sector. And to mention all the data sources for the dashboards that I'm going to present is Kaggle. So now this is a leading FMCG chain which is witnessing high sales only in tier 3 based outlets, but they are also interested to boost sales in all the locations. So our interest is to basically study the consumer choices, their preference for location, for outlets, and all the other things that we might have to look into to understand and boost the sales in all the locations. So moving to the dashboard, so as you can see, the dashboard is basically divided into two halves. On the left, we have the analysis, which is based on the outlet specifications, and on right, we have the analysis based on the demand and cost of the items that are being sold. And on top right, you have an outlet location type filter. So from which we can choose a particular location and we can hereby decide which location is having which problem. So right now it is selected at all, and we can see on the left, this is a God chart which is showing the sales at the different outlet types. Like supermarket type 3 is having 19%, likewise supermarket type 2, type 1, and grocery store. Next, we have the total sales, which is right now selected to all. So it's a accumulation of all the sales together. Total number of outlets is 10. Here it's the outlet size, average sales depending on the outlet size. Here we are having a complete picture together, so which is clear that tier 3 is having maximum sales, tier 2 below that, and tier 1 further below. Next is food type distribution down here. This is a donut chart which is showing that 65% people are preferring low fat food and 35% are preferring regular food. So this is depending on the outlet specification. So where we can see supermarket type 1 is having more sales, medium size outlets are having more sales, etc. From the right, see the total items is 16, which is not going to change in any location type. But this is the top 5 items by average sales, like which location is having higher sales of which items. Accordingly, their MRPs, which is in their descending order, and also the percentages of the items being sold. So if I change to tier 1, just a second, it's taking some time to load. Okay, so it took a bit of time to change. So you can see in tier 1, we are just having supermarket type 1 and grocery store. Here supermarket type 2 and type 3 is missing. The number of outlets is only 3 over here. This is the total sales. Plus there is no large size outlet here. Food type distribution is not changing. It's the common preference for the customers. Here, but there is a slight percentage changes in the items being demanded, it being sold, and also the MRPs. So like this, we can select tier 2 and tier 3, and we can understand which type of outlet size is required there, or which size, which type of location should be required. Like these are the KPIs which we are looking forward to: the sales of different outlet type, outlet size, outlet location, the average sales, MRP. So this would successfully help us to determine which customers are preferring which items in which location, and consequently we can flourish the business over there. So this is how the dashboard would help them. Next, we shall move to the sector of bank. High number of defaulters. So they are keen to segment as customers. They would look forward to some of the points or attributes which they can refer to before having any customers or to offer any customer a credit card. Okay, so the dashboard for it is this. On the left side, we're having the aggregate numbers. The first is the average employed years. So this data is basically of 700 customers who are holding credit cards. Okay, so this is the average employed years of those customers. This is their average age. This is their average income, and this is the total debt they maintain. Okay. Right to it is a radial chart which is showing us the employment years of the customers. So we can see 34% of the customers who hold a credit card are in their initial years, like 0 to 5 years of employment. Likewise, 28%, 18%, as you can see it written. So overall, from this chart, we can conclude 80% of the customers are holding credit cards between 0 to 15 years, after which we can see the percentage is dwindling. Right to it is the percentage of defaulters. Like out of the 700 customers, we are keen to know what percentage of people have defaulted, have a history of defaulting. So it's 26% which has defaulted and 74% was not defaulted. This chart can also be used as a filter, which I'll show you a little later. On the right of it, we have the age distribution of card holders. So this is like we can see 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40. These are the main years which we are having a higher percentage of customers holding the credit cards. So it's around 62%. That's written on the screen. Below it is the default trend with the age. So we can see in the initial years of like 20 to 25 can be considered as a fresher as well. So at that time, they have a higher chances of defaulting slowly, which decreases with their age as well as you can say with the employment years. Again, towards the end, we see a rise, which might be due to their retirement and all. Left to it is the income distribution of defaulters. So this below we can see this is 33% for low income. So we have a higher rate of defaulting from the lower income group, which is almost twice as the high income people. So we can conclude low income group are twice as likely to default as the high income group. And on the extreme left, we have a debt income ratio of the credit card holders, like the ratio which they maintain. So we can see 34% is 34% of the customers are maintaining a debt ratio between 5 to 10. And with 0 to 5, it's like 23%, 10 to 15 is a 21%. So these are the higher percentages. So we are concluding over here 79% is maintaining 0 to 15. Now, if we want to specifically check into the defaulters history, we can click on this, as I told you. So you can see the graphs being changed a bit. So these two graphs, like the income distribution of defaulters and default trend with age, these were made specifically for defaulters. So right now, these two won't be giving any insights. But other than that, we can see the defaulters mainly have 5 years of employment. Their average age is 33 years. This is their average income. This is their total debt and all. So this way we can divide between them. Same with non-defaulters. So if we select, we see it's their 10 years of employment, 36 years of age. They maintain a debt ratio of maximum of them between 0 to 10. So this way we can differentiate between them. So basically we can conclude the KPIs to be the aggregate numbers. Okay, just a second. So these were basically the KPIs we looked into. So any manager or any employee who is offering a credit card can look into this employment years, their debt income ratio, the default trend, and also the age before offering any credit card. Next, we shall move to the sector of digital media and services. So over here, we have a data of 5,000 customers who are availing internet services from a leading internet service provider. But however, they are observing a higher churn rate. Okay, so they are interested to know the age, the gender distribution, and likewise the services they are preferring in order to decrease the churn rate. So this is just a screenshot of the dashboard. I'll directly go to the dashboard to explain. Okay, so here is the dashboard. So you can see it's clearly divided into sections. On the first top left, we have the customers section where we have the details about the customers. First is the total number of customers of the data particularly we are dealing with. Next is the gender distribution of the customers. We can see 49% female and 51% male. Next to it is the age distribution of the customers. So above 60, it's just 16%. Below 60, it's more, which is 84%. So this is the details about the customers. Next to it is the services. The services the ISP is providing and the customers are preferring. So the first is the tech support, which is whether they need some technical help also to deal with the services. So it's around 29% of the customers are requiring some technical support. Next, below it is the contract preference. So the ISP is providing three kinds of contracts: month to month, 2 year, 1 year, and these are the number of customers who are availing it. So we can see with the darker shade of color, we can see it's a larger number of customers. So month to month is mostly preferred. Below it is 2 year and least is 1 year. Okay. Right to it is the service line. So again, where we can see the fiber optic is having most customers, which is 44%. Moving to the visualizations in the lower row. So first we have the tenure, which is the average. First is the average tenure for which the customers are availing services, which is 32 months. Okay. Next, over here is the distribution of the percentage of customers for every year. So right now, this is selected to percentage, but over here, this is a swapping visualization from where we can select. Here, if we select absolute numbers, instead of percentages, we will have absolute numbers on the screen. Okay, so right now we are showing percentage, which can give us a clearer view. So from 0 to 12, like which is the first year, there is 32% of customers. Slowly it decreases, which is in line with the chart just next to it, which is the churn rate. So we can see the customers are reducing each year and also the churn rate. Okay, so basically this is the point where the ISP is interested to study why there is a churn rate. So for which they might look into the services, what is wrong and what is not. Last, we have the charges and payments. Over here, we have the monthly average charges. Right now, it's selected to all. So if we select month to month, so it's 66. So it's showing the monthly average charges if a customer takes a month-to-month contract. Similarly, we can choose 2 year. So it's 62 likewise. And below it is the payment method. So out of these 499 customers, 2951 are paying with paperless methods, out of which these are the things they choose, like the bank transfer, electronic check, which is having the higher percentage of customers and all. So from this dashboard, we can actually conclude this as the KPIs. Like the first is the customer study, next is the services, and next the tenure and the churn rate. So the ISP can actually look into what customers are preferring what, and they can accordingly approach them in the maybe in the first year itself, so that they don't decide to churn after the first year. Okay, so that's all from my side. I'm open to questions. Okay, so if there's no question, I would like Damini to take over the rest of the dashboards. Thank you.
Thank you, Romita. My screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the first sector that I will be dealing with is healthcare, and the focus will be on the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has already crossed the 2-year mark now, and none of our days really passed without checking for the daily updates of the COVID numbers. Daily updates were fine, but getting an overview, an overall picture of the pandemic, how the virus spread out through passage of time became quite overwhelming as the numbers were updated every minute for each city, state, or country. Through this dashboard, we have presented an overview of the pandemic and the vaccination program throughout the world. Various insights from the visualization are the continental infection rate, what are the running total of new cases, the population fully vaccinated, what is the vaccination in different income groups, and average vaccination. So the dashboard is bifurcated into two screens. The first one is the infection trend. This is just a screenshot. And the next one, vaccination trend. Now I would like to go to the dashboard. So the data for creating this dashboard has been collected from our World in Data website. And before presenting the data, I would like to mention that the data has been collected till date 10th January 2022. So the numbers might be a little different than what they are at present. So on top left, we have the aggregate number that sums up the COVID cases, what is the total deaths and the mortality rate. So we see till 10th January 2022, around 31 crore cases were registered. Out of these, 54 lakh people were died. So the mortality was around 2%. The next 5 visuals that we have will help us investigate or drill down into this COVID spread. The first donor chart that you have here shows the percentage of cases continent-wise. So as evident, it can be seen that from the continent Europe, 32% of the total cases came, followed by Asia, 28%, North America, 23%, South America, 13%. And we have another 5 visuals here also. But what you can do is we can use this donut chart as a filter to drill down into any particular continent to check for the condition of different countries in a particular continent. So since Europe has the maximum cases, we can look into this particular continent. Just takes a little time to load to filter it out. Okay. So we see that the visualizations were changing and the aggregate numbers on the left side also has changed. So right next to the percentage of cases, there's a map that shows percentage population infected. So this shows a map for Europe, and the darker the shade is for, it means the more population got infected. So in here, like we can see there's a darker color for United Kingdom. So 21% of the population were infected in United Kingdom. 24% in Zakia. Like this, we can check for a particular country, what was the spread of the COVID, how many population got infected in particular country. Now in here we have the top 15 worst hit countries for the country Europe. It's just the aggregated numbers again. It is represented in a tabular format and it is sorted according to the death percentage. So we see Italy has the maximum death percentage with 3% population got died due to COVID, followed by Russia, United Kingdom, etc. Likewise, we can see for any other country that we want to or any other continent that we want to. So I would like to remove the filter right now. Now we have the running total of new cases, the top 5 countries. For example, we can see in here that United States, the daily number of cases that was coming were higher for United States, followed by India, Brazil, France, and United Kingdom. For India, we can see in here that the cases were gradually increasing, but after April, after March, we see a massive increase and started declining again on 25th January 2021, which shows the period of the second wave that was very deadly for India. Now we have the other visual is test and positivity rate. So we have also put a location filter in here that shows what was the positivity rate for different time and what was the total tests that were being taken. So the area graph, the pink area graph shows the positivity rate. So on 24th April, for United Kingdom, around 23% was the positivity rate, and the green area chart trend line shows the new tests that were being done. So we can see for United Kingdom, positivity was very high before June 20, but after they started having a maximum tests where massive tests were being done, so positive rate started declining. Now, this is all for the infection page. I would like to go to the vaccination trend. Here's a navigation button. We can go back and forth between each dashboard as much as you want to. Similar to the previous dashboard, again, we have 4 aggregate numbers present here that shows what are the total number of doses given, what population got 1 dose, fully vaccinated. So around 50% till 10th January 2022, 50% of the population were fully vaccinated. And the first visual that we have here, it is vaccination overview. It is an area graph that shows the percentage of population that got vaccinated with 1 dose, what were the population that got vaccinated fully vaccinated, and the total boosters. So this, if we hover over it, it's going to show us the percentage of population vaccinated for a particular country at a particular point of time. We can check for any country in here. For example, we can check for United States. Okay. So we can see the bigger area shows the 1 dose, the below it shows people fully vaccinated, and last we have total boosters given. We can check for it, hover over it, and we can check for the population. So for example, in 10th January 2021, 53% of the population in United States got at least 1 dose, 46% were fully vaccinated, and no boosters were given till that time. Till 5th November 21, still 7% population got 1 dose, 58% fully vaccinated, and 8%. Likewise, we can check for any particular country that we want to. Similar to the previous dashboard, now the map shows the percentage population fully vaccinated. As evident, the red color shows that less population has been vaccinated, and as it goes to green, it means high population have been vaccinated. Although we don't have data present for these specific countries in here, that's why it's showing in red. We can check for the countries like India, 46%, Russia, 46%, 77% for Australia, 78% for Canada, etc. Next we have is the vaccination in income groups. Although we didn't have any data present for these specific countries in Africa, we can actually make an assumption from this bar graph here that shows 9% of the population only got vaccinated in low income countries compared to the 77% and 79% of the high income and upper middle income countries. That shows huge disparity between the vaccinations. Now we have the top 5 countries by average vaccination. It seems that China has outperformed literally every other country in average vaccination. You can see the chart going very high comparing to other countries that's present like India, United States, etc. So China is definitely an outlier in the vaccination program. Then we have India, then we have United States, Brazil, and Indonesia in the vaccination program. Although we see that the cases were very high for United States, the vaccination doesn't seem to take that hold. And now we have the vaccination and the final is the vaccination and hospital admissions. So the blue area graph shows the daily vaccinations that were taking place, and the orange trend line shows the weekly hospital admissions. So as it is evident with the passing time, as the daily vaccination started increasing rapidly, the weekly hospital admissions started declining. This much is all I have for the COVID-19 dashboard. Now I would like to go to the other sector. The second sector that I have is the supply chain management. So there is a company that deals with production, sales, and distribution of various products into different countries. So they wanted to check their top performing categories and increase profit and delivery efficiency. So the dashboard was created based on the analysis of various attributes like sales, profit, delivery status, shipping status, etc. And then the visuals are filtered on the basis of order country and category name. Various insights from visualization are the aggregate numbers, what are the top 20 categories, transaction types, delivery status, and late delivered products. This is the screenshot. Now I would like to go to the dashboard for better interactivity. So this is the sales distribution dashboard. On the extreme left, we have the aggregate numbers, that is total sales, total profit, and total discount. We have top 20 category or our top 20 category wise overview, transaction types, and else. Next, so first I would like to change, since it is the visuals are being filtered on order country and category name, the company can actually look into particular country or category they are interested into. So we can also do that. Let's check for India. You can see the visuals being changed. Just a minute. Okay, so the visuals have changed. The total sales we have and total profit, total discount we have on the extreme left. Now the top 20 category wise overview. We see here we can actually change, we have put a parameter here. We can actually check for any top 20 categories, but right now it's put into default as 5. So we see that fishing, cleats, camping, hiking, cardio equipment, and women apparel seems to be the top 5 performing categories for country India. And fishing seems to be the only category that has more than $1 lakh sales. Now the sales trend seems to be consistent along the categories. We see that it has been increasing till 2015, but it starts declining after February 2016 for each of these categories. So the sales trend is pretty consistent, and you have an average discount of 10% for each of these categories. Now the transaction types preferred. It seems that debit is preferred by 35% of the orders in India, followed by transfer 31%, and payment and cash seems to be on the equal spot. So the company wanted to increase its delivery efficiency. So we have a percentage cost chart in here that shows the percentage of the delivery status. Like the on-time shipping was just 16% and the late delivery was 56%. So the company wants to increase its delivery efficiency, and we see that it is very low. So that's why we have put in here the top 10 late delivered products. So the company can actually look into these particular products and check into the process of what is going wrong in their process, in the delivery process, that is making them late. So it can see that Perfect Fitness, Perfect Rib Deck was delivered late 289 times. Likewise, Nike's men football cleat was delivered late 282 times. So the company can actually look into these products and check what is going wrong and increase their delivery efficiency. Now they wanted to increase their profit and sales also. So these are the states in India that are more susceptible to fraud, that can hamper their sales as well as their profit generation. So while delivering products to these specific states, they can be alert and they can actually protect their profit generation and sales. So we can see that Maharashtra had 21% suspected fraud, followed by Uttar Pradesh, then Andhra Pradesh 5%, likewise Tamil Nadu for 7%. So we've not yet selected any category. We can do that. Since fishing is the highest, we can check for this particular category. Okay. So we can see in here on the extreme left, we see total sales is $1,43. Although the sales is very high for fishing, but we can see the total profit is lower than the total discount that's been given in the particular fishing categories. This particular visual top 20 category otherwise is not connected to this filter, so it is not going to change. Now we have the transaction types. It seems that earlier debit was preferred for all the categories, but in here we see debit seems to be the least preferred, just 15% of the orders for fishing category. Now transfer is 40%, followed by cash 24%, payment 21%. Likewise, the top 10 late delivers, we have just one late delivered product, that is field and streams, and the company can actually look into this particular product for the particular category fishing and increase the delivery efficiency. And in fishing, Madhya Pradesh seems to be the percentage of high suspected fraud is in there, so the company can be alert for this particular state. Likewise, the company can look into any particular country, chartered category, and make better decisions. This is all I have. These two dashboards that I had. Now I'm open to any questions. Okay, thank you. Now I would like Aditya to take over.
Thank you, Damini. We have gone through so many of the sectors that how the dashboard can provide information into it. And I'll be covering just one sector, that is the retail, and one department, everyone's favorite, HR. So just let me share my screen. So our problem statement goes like that there's a retail stores company that would want to know that what are its nationwide sales and profit, and would like to know that which are the top performing categories, which are the categories which are not performing well, which are the reasons which are contributing most to the bottom line, so that this way they can improve their delivery efficiency and also take a look at the profit contributors and optimize them. So without much further ado, let us jump straight to the dashboard. So here is the dashboard that we have. On the right side of the dashboard, we have the gross big numbers, that is how much is the revenue for the 4 years that we are talking about, that is from the year 2014 to 2017. The profit which has been generated, average sales per customer, and the average discount percentage. Now, since we have been talking about, so let us try to go deep into these metrics, that what does that actually mean. So let's say if we just click on any of the state, it is going to tell that if we are talking about California, dark blue color, and it has contributed most to the profit. That is, California has generated north of $75,000 in profit, and with most contributions coming from office supplies and technology. So let us just try to ask more from the data by taking that what are going to be the sales and profit, as mentioned in the top right corner, that for California what it is going to be there, and what all have been the category wise month over month profit, that is the cumulative sales that we have over each category, and then what is the profit contribution of California and what has been the growth there. So if I just click on California, our visualizations have changed. Now we can see that January and February were pretty lean months, and on an average from March to September, some sort of consistent sales it has been observed, with November and December witnessing very high sales for the obvious holiday seasons. Now we can see that the dark blue color, that is the furniture, it has contributed very less to the profits month over month every year. So, and office supplies has contributed a lot, and this we can see the percentage of it here. In terms of revenue, just one state contributed to almost 0.5 million, or that is 20% of the total revenue. Same goes with the profits. So let us talk about the most loss-making state, that is the Texas. So in Texas, the category which has lost most money is the office supplies, shown by the light blue color, and next comes is the furniture. So if I just click say Texas, now see everything has changed and how much we have witnessed loss over the years. So in this way, we can see that unless it is making some sort of strategic sense for the retail store over there, then Texas may not be a very good place, because all the fixed costs that they are incurring, and also the furnitures has not been able to contribute much to the bottom line. So every space which is taken up by furniture is actually taking away profit from the more profit making categories, that is the office supplies and technologies. Now uh, coming to it, that if we just want to dive into a particular year, that what all it has been done. So let us just, for example, say take 2016. Now we can see the profits everywhere, and as well as the visualization updated. So in this way, we can all have a clear picture, and whosoever be the stakeholder will have a really easy time in knowing that, in getting information out of the visualization. Any questions so far? Okay, so moving on, this is the last visualization that we have covered one department here, human resource. So it is like, the most important department, because humans only are getting the job done. So it is of utmost important that if the HR department has a clear picture of the employees, of their well-being, of their metrics, and of the related information of the demographics that they are coming for, they might be very well able to transition and help out the issues which may be arising for the employees, which may be stopping them from doing a good job. So here the problem statement is that a major company's HR department would like to have a bird eye view of its organizational employees, say for their geographical distribution, what has been the average employee tenure, length of service, and what all have been the major termination reasons. So therefore, for this, we have made a visualization just like this. So let me just show you the visualization here. So here, as we can see, the broad numbers, the total number of employees 311, average tenure is 7 years, and average employee age is 43 years, and the employee satisfaction, can be boasted as a good matrix, because that's almost 78%. Now we have this distribution of the ethnicity of the company, of the human resource inside the company. Say we have 60% of the employees which are white, 26% are black or African American, so on and so forth. So for example, that if I would like to see that information about the Asians, so what I have actually done is I've used this as a filter. So once I use this as a filter, now every information in the graph is going to be shown pertaining to that. So let us say that we are talking about the black employees. So again, we have total, you see the visualization changing, what all have been the job termination reason analysis, and the manager wise performance of those black employees. So as we can see that most of them are coming from Massachusetts, 68 or 85% of it, and the rest from a few states, say Ohio, Kentucky, etc. Now the length of service, as we can see, is mostly similar across the board, that is doing 5 to 10 years of service. And in terms of job termination analysis, so 23% have accepted another position at another company, and 16% were not sort of happy with the employment conditions. Therefore, they left the job. So, if at all HR department would want to further improve their scores, they would look into these job termination analysis. Any questions so far for this dashboard? Okay, so so far we have covered all these sectors across that. What all could have been the best case scenario, that how the businesses could improve, and basically the thing has been there, that what all we have mentioned in this dashboard, this is, we were more focused on covering the width so that we could cover as much as sectors we could, like the FMCG or the banking or digital media and services. And apart from it, it still gives us so much valuable information just from the basic data analysis tools, that for a stakeholder or for a key decision maker, it becomes so much intuitive, as I mentioned, just by looking at using some of the filters in here, and you can view granularly that what all has been the sole reason behind some person or some states or some factor doing good over the other. So with this, I'd like to conclude the presentation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. I now open the floor for questions, if at all anyone would like to ask anything.
Thank you, Aditya, Damini, and Ramita for the presentation. So, as mentioned, do you have any questions from the audience? Any questions related to the dashboards? Any questions related to the process that we are? The idea again here was to showcase different use cases in industries and some sort of data analysis that we can do, and especially the visualization part of it. Vivek?
Yeah, Samir, actually, I'm thinking like, since we are doing this lead gen work with you guys, like presenting all the analysis that you are doing. I just want to check whether this is possible or not. This is just come up in my mind. Whether since Damini has presented the dashboard that is regarding the COVID across the world, is there any possibility that we can select a particular country like US and compare that to our data so that we is the COVID cases are affecting our positives or not? I just want to know, I mean, whether it is possible or not.
Essentially a comparison of country level data, right? From USA to India.
No. Only for the USA to the lead gen data that we are doing.
Okay. How the COVID is impacting industrial, I mean, the other data, right? How the lead gen data is getting impacted by the COVID data. That's a neat suggestion, Vivek. I think, at least the timelines should be able to match, and it might actually provide a context to how. The answer is yes, we can do that, and we should look into how we can do that definitely. But we should be able to do that.
Yeah. Okay. That's all. Yeah. Good presentation, guys. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, Manideep?
Yes, Samir, like the same thing which I thought was cleared with the Vivek's question.
Okay.
Overall, we felt that presentation is good.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the session. We tried to be as informative as possible, and if there is anything very specific that you would want us to present or showcase, you can always ping us directly and let us know. We should be able to try and see during the future sessions. If that is all, we can close, I guess. Abhishek, anything else? Nikita?
No, Samir, that sums us up.
Thank you. Thank everybody for joining the call, and we are closing out here.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
Thank-
thanks all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.